Thank you to my patrons, as I was able to invest a little towards this deck to optimize it and show it to all of you. Also, I know many of you wanted to see my new Gravekeeper deck in action because of Double Summon and the Switcheroo nerf, which may be my next video next week. Until then, I posted my updated Gravekeeper deck list in my Patreon Discord channel, included with advanced tips on how to counter it. This is my Swift Gaia beatdown deck. You may have seen similar decks like this that focus on OTKing your opponent. I saw potential in this deck to remove the OTK gimmick, and then to actually make this a competitive, consistent deck. The core trick of this deck is to use Gateway to Chaos to search Swift Gaia, and using Storm to pop the field spell and then beat down your opponent with Swift Gaia. Flash Assailant is very good because of the 2k defense. The Bond goes up to 3k attack but has a weak 500 defense. He still gets his 3k attack boost if you have the field spell up. Double Summon helps deplete your hand. Magic Drain and Eliminating the League are mainly in here to counter Relinquished decks. You will see in the footage that some games I am using Wild Tornado and Wonder Balloons. Both are great cards against Harpies until through much testing I decided that the deck does not need that much extra help to defeat Harpies, and instead needed the help against Relinquished decks. You can use Wonder Balloons to deplete your hand and also win games on its own if they can't remove it. Grenade and Wild Tornado can be good choices to use, but I decided Wild Tornado just wasn't needed as your monsters are big enough to remove any face-up threats. Big Bang Shot is also a great choice too. Thanks to the dual replay feature, I have a ton of footage I could share with you since the majority of my games played are on my phone and when I'm not able to record footage. This video will be in 3 parts, so feel free to skip to whatever part you want. First will be against Harpies, second will be against Relinquished, and third will be against other decks. In this game you will get to see first what it is like to play against my deck from the opponent's perspective. Similar to Odeon Bluff Trap, it is very hard to recover from a Gateway to Chaos into Storm play. I don't want to show every game where I open with Storm, so I will be mixing it up. Once you simplify the game state, it is very hard for the opponent to deal with your monsters that are stronger with no help from other cards. This was a calculated decision on whether I should use Magic Drain for Storm, or if I feel that Magic Drain itself is more valuable. Due to him only playing Underdog with no sets, it is safe for me to assume that he is not sitting on an enemy controller or order to charge in their hand. So the likely best case scenario, even with the help of Underdog, they will only draw into one spell which Magic Drain will take care of. Without Storm, I have a heavily protected Gaia with 2 Magic Drains. Thankfully, because of Storm, he no longer has a way to deal with Flash Assailant. Constant streak of 2k attack and 3k attack monsters is too much for any deck to handle. If this hand had a Storm, it wouldn't be so bad, as I could likely sit on Wonder Balloons after getting rid of Harpy Hunting Ground. It's important to remember to set your field spell when needed. This is a great hand. My chance to draw a monster is much more likely than him drawing an out like Order to Charge, so we are both getting a bit unlucky here. In this game, a huge misplay by myself happens. I want to show you how this deck can still do well even after a setback like this. As you can see, I set the field spell, as that was my plan to do that after a Storm play, but I accidentally set it before using Storm. Best thing to do is to just make the best out of a bad situation and play it out optimally from there. Clearing everything and ending with a swift Gaia isn't too bad anyway. This is where I decide to just sit on Assailant and use Wonder Balloons until Mirror Wall is useless. I will now be showing games against Relinquished players, with and without opening Storm. Eliminating the League is very good for me right now. He gets rid of the Relinquished in his hand and he surrenders. Swift Gaia with 2 magic drains is a great anti-Relinquish hand. It was a misplay to play the second gateway. Should have discarded it to negate the magic drain effect. Even if he negated my magic drain, I have an Eliminating the League set, for which I just needed to draw a spell for, and then monsters afterward. It's important to note that Thuban itself is stronger than Sonic Bird and Senju, and Flash Assailant is stronger than them while you have 1 card in your hand. So you don't have to tunnel vision into dumping your entire hand when playing against Relinquished. I guess he was too afraid to attack, but it didn't matter as I drew Swift Gaia anyway. Similar hand to before the restart, but now I have a Flash Assailant. My plan here is to use Flash Assailant at 1600, which is big enough for Senju and Sonic Bird. Now I will be showing you other decks that aren't Harpies or Relinquished. This deck is apparently a Harpy deck, but using Bandit Keith. His deck is built to beat Harpies. A lot of these games I was only using one Magic Drain. I recommend trying Wonder Balloons out if you own it to see if you enjoy that version. I know if it weren't for Relinquished, that would have been my preferred version of the deck. Hands like these without Storm just feel great. Big attack, big defense monsters to overwhelm them with, and a Magic Drain for added protection. Hopefully by now you have a good understanding with how this deck works and can predict my plays. This is a game from my opponent's perspective. Flash Assailants make the Windstorm useless. With 3 Gateway and 5 monsters left in the deck, I am bound to be drawing monsters to overwhelm him with. This is a quick OTK from my opponent's perspective. Even though my deck isn't built for gimmicky OTKs, I do still have many. So this was by far the longest video I've ever created. Please let me know if you prefer these types of videos, or I'll go back and forth between short and long videos. Also let me know if you enjoyed watching from the duel replay perspective. I still will continue to record in the future regular gameplay, but I wanted to try this out too.